Nintendo.
Hallo? Hm? Ôi, ai, 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 ai.
ベジジほっほジミジミケケゲイルベジジオドサメの竹おやおやまテイヘイウィゲールスースクスクウィおいどろサメの竹オムガルイーギオドおいどろおやおやまテイヘイウィおっとまほえジミジミテイヘイジゲキンのジビガギソースーさんおいどろスーケケソイソウソテイヘイスーサメの竹おいどろんおいど発砲のジビガギおよどルイーギサメの竹みうまかすくすくやぼやぼやぼやぼほっほっほテイヘイスーゲールスーすくすくみうまかスンのじびがぎうみおうや発砲うまかちゃっちゃちゃっちゃおろろおどパンパンテイヘイスーサメの竹おいどろ ゲイルベジジオドソイソウオットマサメの竹ボーオヤミルイーギ
まどか、なんか思い出せた？
ずいぶん前のことだし。
私たち5人が映っていたのは確かにこの建物ね。
ねえ美咲、本当にここに来ればよかったのかな。写真の場所でも何も思い出せなかったし。
もう帰ろう。私の言う通りにしてればいいの。まどかもあんな風になりたいの？そう、私たちを見てしまった。次は私たちの番だ。神隠しにあった5人が順番に。やめてよ。そういえばこの感じ、どこに連れて行くの？連れて行かないで。美咲。これ。美咲。美咲。ここに鍵があるかも。
戻りなさい。
名前が書いてある。今の曲思い出せない。思い出したくない。早くここから出ないと。美咲を探さないと。
Save money on music gear? By shopping deals on Reverb. Millions of music makers use Reverb to find great prices.
Hey guys, my name is Precious Price. I am an entrepreneur here in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is my tiny house, the Cove Escape. So I'm excited to welcome you all in. Come on. So you walk right in and immediately you are in the living room or the lounge area. This is a day bed. I decided to put a day bed here just so that people can actually here just so that people can actually sit, lounge, and if you want to nap without going up the ladder, then that is what you can do here. I like it because when you sit on the day bed, it sits right across from the TV, which you will see that's above kind of the kitchen nook. So we're gonna go there next. However, over here is also where we kind of have a little table just in case, again, you're just wanting to lounge. Typically people come here and people are at least renting this tiny house and they want to lounge, they want to relax. So I wanted a way for them to also eat here. If they just didn't want to sit here or sit at the nook, they can just sit, chill, and kind of watch TV. And again, lounge in the nature of it all. So here I have a Pioneer mini split. It is heating and cooling. This was honestly like a required technology here in the tiny house, just because it does not take up a lot of room. You can put it right on the wall. And again, it's actually controlled by a remote. So again, if I'm sitting and I'm lounging, I don't have to get up and press any button. I can literally just use this remote. If I want to turn it to heat, I can turn it to heat, cooling, whatever. I have my decor here, inhale, exhale, just because again, this is more of like, I like to think of it as like a safe haven, a relaxing place where I can go and get away. Because it's tucked away all the way in my backyard, you really aren't seeing a lot of people. There's not a lot of traffic. So the inhale, exhale is more so a way to just remind people who are renting and renting this escape that truly escape and like enjoy yourself, relax. From here or from the living or lounge area, we then are seeing the closet. So I absolutely wanted a closet too, just because we need some type of way to have some storage in here. So this is where typically we are keeping any type of extra paper towels, toilet paper, in addition to any extra linens in terms of turnover and changing the beds, changing the sheets. Everything is right here. And then on top of that, there is 2 racks where if you did want to, or if we move some of this stuff, you can actually hang some of your clothes as well. So it's actually a good amount of space for someone, even if they wanted to live in here long term. So up here, you see a little bit of the faux plant. So unfortunately, I am not someone who can take care of plants. I finally have a puppy, so I know how to take care of things, but plants are just not my strong suit. But I definitely wanted some greenery in here because all of the windows, there's about, in total, I believe 8 windows here in the tiny house. So it brings in a ton of light. So I at least wanted some type of greenery in here. So you'll see that we placed some faux plants up here and even outside and here, just to kind of, again, just bring in the aesthetic of it all and make it really feel comfortable and calm. actually went ahead and purchased the shed structure and decided to build the tiny house because I was doing Airbnb here within Atlanta, Georgia. I still do Airbnb or have a short-term rental business. But of course, as we know, March 2020 is when obviously the global pandemic was declared. And at that time, I was actually renting my main home. So the house that this structure sits behind, I was renting that and I was traveling for work. And at that time when the global pandemic was declared, we actually had a stop on all travel for work, and I was back within my main house, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, by myself, super scared. And I was wondering like, okay, number one, what am I gonna do with all of this house by myself for now? And then on top of that, I kind of don't want to pay my mortgage. I hadn't been paying my mortgage. Airbnb was kind of paying it for me all of those months prior, so I did not want to continue paying my mortgage. So I was really sitting on my couch, finally working from home, but I was trying to think of a way of how can I get back to renting in a safe way. And I thought about the tiny house because I looked out of my kitchen window from the main home and I saw there's a lot of room back here, a whole lot of room. You can actually fit an entire other tiny house out. I would say back here. But when I saw that, I'm like, all right, I think I want to put a tiny house in the back and then I can live in this structure and I can kind of downsize, be a minimalist, and then I can rent out the entire main home and continue to make the mortgage on that in addition to any of the costs that I have here. So honestly, for me, back then when I was thinking, it was like the perfect plan, like what could go wrong? But that is what drove me to actually building this structure here in the back. So from the lounge area directly across, you are going to see the TV. So of course you need some kind of entertainment within the tiny house and when you're relaxing. So the TV actually swivels out so that you can kind of see it over there near the lounge area. In addition to if you are in the kitchen as well, as you're cooking, you can watch TV, watch some cooking shows, and just again, entertain yourself. Now, underneath the TV, we have the, I like to call it like a breakfast nook, kitchen nook. This is pretty much where you can eat. It's a little bit small, but it can certainly fit about just 2 people, 2 small people. But 2 people nonetheless, and this is where you can pretty much have your dinner right next to the window. And again, like looking out, there's a ton of greenery outside and around, so I absolutely love that, and I love capitalizing on that as well. And then of course, this is just the perfect place to keep the remote and anything that you need quickly to grab. But we have some cabinets under here, and right here, this is typically where I'm keeping more so like little tools, markers, utensils that I need. And then underneath, this is all of the cleaning. So this is where I'm keeping any of the cleaning supplies, trash bags, air fresheners, all of that. I also did not want to compromise on a fridge. Because who doesn't like to eat? So I definitely needed more of like a full-size fridge. I believe this is the size more so for an apartment, which is more than enough. And when you open it up, there is more than enough freezer space, more than enough fridge space for you to keep all of your goodies. And again, I did not want to compromise on the kitchen because I am someone that I love to cook. And I know other people typically when you are trying to get away, you're cooking on your own rather than going out to eat or anything like that. So from the fridge, we then have more counter space and of course, course, the induction cooktop. I was going back and forth with myself, honestly, on whether or not I wanted to do more of a stovetop, include a cooktop, or actually even put in more of like an oven and range and everything. But I figured that an induction cooktop would be the best, just because number one, it is the most, I would say, like more of a cheaper option, but also it is quicker. So if you go and you use the induction cooktop, it takes all of 2 minutes to boil water and really cook things on here. So you have, or I have some special pots and pans that you typically use for these. And then once you go on here, it's actually not touch screen, but it's kind of touch capable, to where that is how you're touching the buttons, and you just can cook your meal, and there's two, so that if you want to make your main dish and your side dish, I didn't think that it was, I guess, necessary to have 4 different cooktops here in the tiny house. So from there, of course, you need a microwave. In the instance that you do want to go out and get those snacks and you're not wanting to cook, of course you can reheat that stuff, and then the outlet is up here. I didn't really like initially how high the outlet was, but there was actually supposed to be a shelf here that the microwave then sits on, but we just never got to that point of actually placing the shelf there, honestly, just because I didn't find the perfect shelf. I did want it to match this barn door, and unfortunately it just didn't do that. So we have it here, but the outlet still reaches up. So again, there is a lot of room here. This is where we more so are keeping our appliances, like a coffee maker, food processors, juicers. That's where this is. And then here is more so vitamins, supplements, teas, and all of that, so that it can easily be accessed once you actually pull these appliances like a coffee maker, kettle, all of that up here. And then underneath this cabinet is even more pots and pans, but also where we are keeping additional appliances like blenders and everything as well. For me, and even most of the guests that typically stay within the tiny house, I find that they're more so into more like holistic foods and healing and all of that. So typically they are bringing a lot of fresh fruits. They like to compost. So I find it really cool. So typically all of those appliances are under there for use. And then here is where we are actually keeping all of the spices, of course, right underneath the induction cooktop. Now from here, of course, we have more so like the dish in the actual sink area. So again, these dishes can easily fit underneath the cabinet if you need this additional space right near the sink. But I did want to do more of a more full-size sink, just because, again, being someone that I do cook a lot, and then even furthermore, I know other people do as well, you are typically going to be doing some dishes, and if you don't have a dishwasher, you need a full-size sink. So I did not want to compromise here as well. And then of course, who doesn't like windows right outside of the kitchen sink? In terms of heating the water, we actually have a water heater underneath here. And this water heater is, for the most part, instantaneous. It is a Rheem water heater. So once you turn it on, it automatically pops on for any of the faucets, both in the kitchen and the bathroom, to where it's automatically going to heat it as long as you are turning it to that hot setting.
Built on family.
Built on community.
The all-new Bolton Ford. Built for you.
Don't settle. Don't overpay.
I was deciding, or when I decided to then put the structure back here, I did a ton of research. So of course, I'm on YouTube and I'm on HGTV watching all of the tiny home tours, the tiny home shows, and I was really trying to figure out what was the best structure for me. So of course, as anyone, I would say, I wanted to minimize cost. And initially, the initial plan that I had landed on was a container home. And I started researching container homes initially because if you do not know, shipping containers usually, at least back then, about 2 or 3 years ago when I was researching, they were around no more than like $2,000 to $5,000. But because of how my main house is set up, and even furthermore just the neighborhood or the block that it sits on, there was no way for me to actually be able to get that container delivered here in the back. And it was so heartbreaking when I realized that, and I found out just because they do typically bring those containers on larger trucks, so it was not able to fit back here. And that is when I then found that I could actually turn a shed into a tiny house. So I started to look for sheds, not just your regular sheds, but your sheds that again might have a porch, they can add windows, and I landed on actually deciding to do a shed conversion. And this was honestly the easiest way, I would say, to go to market, because I realized that with a container home, I would have had to kind of had cutouts of the windows, cutouts of the doors. It would have been a lot of I'd say construction, a lot more construction than what I have now, versus with this shed, the shed actually came with the porch. I was able to select where I wanted to put the door, where I wanted all of the windows, and I actually added so many more windows than what they initially had. I believe initially this structure just comes with about 4 windows. I added nearly 10 windows, and it was absolutely perfect for me. So this is a 12 by 24 shed conversion with a lofted, it's more of a lofted barn style is what it's called. So it has just 1 loft rather than the 2, but it's absolutely perfect in terms of just being able to get it, and then it comes just absolutely clear and clean. And then from that point, we were then just adding in the walls. We were adding in where we wanted the bathroom to be, where we wanted additional electrical outlets. And it's more so from there just painting and laying floors. So honestly, it could have been, if there weren't so many issues, it could have been a really, really quick job, especially with it being a shed conversion. It was the quickest way for me to go to market. From the kitchen, we are going into the bathroom. So this barn door is what separates the 2 spaces, which is really cool. Number one, because I stained this barn door myself. I did not realize how much I loved staining wood until I did this. This was my very first project. And once I did this, I actually went ahead and I stained the ladder that you'll see later to go up to the loft in addition to the front porch. So they all match with the same color. And this was really a piece that I love, just because once you walk in, the wood and the feel, especially as it offsets on the floors, it's just like aesthetically pleasing. And I always wanted a barn door in one of my houses, so I'm glad that I finally have it in the tiny house as well. And of course, you're gonna swivel it back and we step into the bathroom. So we are now in the side of the bathroom, and of course, once you turn on the light in the bathroom, it actually automatically turns on the fan just so that it can get some good ventilation as people are showering, as I'm showering, whatever. So when you step in, we actually have a full mirror here and a lot of good light. That was absolutely necessary. Ladies, doing your makeup, just seeing yourself in the morning, you just gotta do it. And then of course, a flush toilet was absolutely necessary for me. I've seen a ton of people do more so like composting toilets, other options that I've seen as well. But for me, just because I have been used to a flush toilet and it's the easiest to, I guess, maneuver and use, I wanted to just go with a flush toilet just so that it is like, it's simple, it's straightforward. So there's actually 2 buttons here. I like that it's buttons, just so that if you are doing obviously number 1, you have the first button, and number 2, the second button, just so that we are actually preserving water as well, because I do believe that's important since it is connected to my main house. Of course, a full toilet, and then the absolutely amazing shower. So I love this shower, and initially, I was not going to go with the glass doors, but the glass doors were absolutely necessary because the space here in the bathroom is not that large. So in order to actually open up the space, I wanted to have these clear glass doors just so that it can feel like it is a little bit larger. So these are sliding glass doors. They slide either way. And when you open up this glass door, of course, we are in the shower, and the shower actually gives you a really, really good amount of clearance. So once you're in the shower, I believe it goes up to about maybe 7 feet. And then at that point, there is a little window again to bring in more extra light. I believe that natural light is really important, especially since so much of the sun hits this tiny house absolutely perfectly. It was June of 2021 when I had officially quit my corporate job, which was honestly insane to a lot of people because it was a 6-figure consulting job that I was doing. But I actually found that I had began making more money within my own business rather than at my job. And honestly, this business came with a little less stress. So how I make my money, number one is obviously rentals. So at the peak of everything, I would say about December 2021, I had 8 units across the city of Atlanta. I had 5 apartments, or 6 apartments, excuse me. I had a house right around the corner from this house that I was renting, and then I had put on Airbnb. I have my main investment property, and then of course I had the tiny house. All legal, all ways that I was actually bringing in rental income via short-term rental platforms such as Airbnb, VRBO, and then eventually we had actually transitioned into direct booking platforms or direct booking like website. And then from that point, of course, once I actually started doing this, and once the tiny house finished, and once people really saw the success that I was making with Airbnb, they wanted to know exactly how I was doing that. So I also make money by teaching other people to do what I do. So number one, how do you get started within the short-term rental space, making very, very good money, and then being able to go ahead and pretty much eradicate your living cost. When we think about it, the cost of living, or your cost in terms of where you are laying your head, is the highest cost you will ever pay in your life for anything. And right now, especially within the housing market, just the rent prices, housing prices are increasing. So I needed a way to eradicate that cost, and this was it. So now we are at the work area. A work area was really important just because even prior to building the tiny house, I myself was working a bit remote too. And I know that typically and many times I've had renters that are working remote as well. So this is a nice little space where again, you are out, you can see through the window, bringing in that natural light, but then you also have a dedicated space for you to get anything done. Your laptop can sit here, and it actually provides some additional room because this drops down. This is called more of like a drop leaf desk, but it drops down, and that provides you with a little extra room just in case you are lounging with friends, and it just gives you, again, a little bit more extra space to watch TV, chill out, and then you can bring it right back up pretty easily, and it stays there. And of course, this is just my welcome to the Cove Escape sign. It is just for people to kind of see, know how we are calling, or what we are calling the tiny house. And I'm actually really big into branding as well. So branding and marketing is one of my first loves. It's what I studied in school. So I figured that it was really, really good to actually brand this space. So we call it the Cove Escape. Number one, the Cove, because it's a little ducked off into my backyard, but it's also an escape because if I'm being completely honest, whenever I step into this space, it no longer feels like I'm in Atlanta. So of course, I've already showed you the daybed / lounge area. That is one place or one option where you are able to sleep. But we also have a loft, because what is a tiny house without a loft? So here is that beautiful ladder that I told you I stained, matches the barn door. And we go right up to this ladder. So it's a little bit of clearance, but I have had someone who has stayed in here that's about 6 feet. He's over 6 feet, slept up here, and he said that it was absolutely amazing. Now, I do want to be very clear. This loft is just for sleeping. There's not a lot of clearance, so there's no other room to do anything else but to sleep. Definitely not for anyone who's not comfortable with heights. It's about 6 feet up off the ground. So it gives you a little room, a little bit of something to work with. But it's a little pretty as well. And then of course there's also a window up here too. As well, and then of course there's also a window up here too, again just to provide more natural light. So if you are someone that is sitting on some extra land, your family is sitting on some extra land, or even furthermore, you are sitting on some extra space in your home, whether it's a basement, an extra room, and you do not know what to do with it, please reach out to me. I can point you in the right direction, help, and really help you to get started in the real estate and even furthermore, the tiny house industry. If you are specifically interested in getting started with learning about short-term rentals, and even furthermore, how I've been able to rent my tiny house, rent my investment property, rent other people's properties, and put it on short-term rental platforms such as Airbnb, do corporate leasing, then you should certainly check out my Instagram at Airbnb Money. That is where you can find all of my resources. I do have classes, courses, where you are able to purchase and you're able to learn about these different ways that I have been able to enter this space. So you can learn about corporate leasing from my corporate leasing webinar. You are able to learn everything about short-term rentals via my masterclass that I have. And then in addition to that, I do mentor people and have a complete mentorship program in regards to how do you get started, number one, with building a business behind all of this. And I think that's really the main piece. How do you get started building business credit, finding funding so that you can do something like this? Because you should not let your primary hurdle be money, or even furthermore, your primary hurdle should not be, I don't know how. Number one, because there are so many ways for you to figure out the information in terms to get started with this. Thank you guys so much for coming to see my home. It's been a pleasure showing you my labor of love. And as stated, if you have any questions, please reach out. My Instagram is at PreciousCPrice. Thanks.
Save big on Vox, Shure, Epiphone, and more at Reverb. Millions of music makers
Today, you took delicious vitamin-packed Centrum multigummies with essential nutrients for energy and immunity support. It's one more step towards taking charge of your health. So every day, you can say, with Centrum multigummies.
Building number 29. This is one of the favorites on the lot. This is a 12 by 32 finished cottage. It's going to have a four-foot front porch. The entire building is fully insulated, finished with laminate flooring, as well as electricity, heat, and air. On the outside, we have an external outlet. And when we go inside this building, you'll notice baseboard heat on the walls, and it's actually split into multiple areas. This room could easily be set up as a little lounge area. And when we go in here, there's a smaller room, which many would use as a bathroom space if you're looking for a tiny home or office use. And then in the very back room, we have a little bit more space with the air conditioner, window, and of course there's lighting in all rooms. Now these cottages make perfect classrooms, office spaces, lake houses, and much, much more. Now a cottage like this can be yours with $0 down, $0 out of pocket, and payments somewhere around $280 a month. Once again, this is building number 29. Building
Hey, Apple. Call me.
What's up, guys? It's Christian. We're going to be doing a new walkthrough video of my 60x40 shop house. The last one that I uploaded, it's been over a year since then, and a lot of things have changed. So we're going to walk around the outside and through the inside. I'm going to give you guys a tour. So we're going to start on the outside, and then we'll move into the shop and go from there. All right, so we're going to start over here on this side of the house. This would be the east side. So you can see that we have a 2x12 that runs all the way across here. Eventually this will be a lean-to on this side of the building. Then we'll have trailer storage and stuff like that over here. So this would be the north facing side. We got 2 garage doors, a 12x12 and an 18x18. Board and batten siding here. This is iron ore from Sherwin-Williams. And then here we have the 2-story deck patio. We got tongue and groove stained wood in here. This was the first I did have. It looks good. I think that we're actually gonna tear all this tongue and groove off and do some kind of like a brick or a stone siding here. I think that'll look a lot better, but for now this will work. So we got concrete wrapping all the way around this side. We got a planter box, so in the summertime we'll have plants and stuff in here. It's actually dirt. All right, so over on the west side of the building, you can see the single slope roof. Matches on the deck and patio. We got another planter box right here. You can see all the windows on this side of the house. It's because the valley's facing this way. You can see a little fenced off area in the back here. The dogs have access through a doggy door here, and then you'll see later there's a little fenced off area in the shop. So when we're at work or when we go to bed, the dogs have this own little area to hang out in. So I'll flip you guys around so you can see the valley. So we're in southeast Idaho, if you guys are wondering. Super pretty here. All right, so now you guys have seen the outside. Let's go in the shop and check it out. So the shop's about 40 by 40 roughly. So it's pretty big in here, tons of room. So we got the Razor here. This is my wife's Jeep. And then we got my truck over here. So you can see we got a 2-post lift in here. I actually have a video installing this lift if you guys want to check it out on the channel. Coming over here, you can see that we just got some storage shelves. We got a wall mount pressure washer, hose, air compressor, everything like that. Hot and cold water over here, more storage. And then we got the heater up top. It's a 250,000 BTU heater. It keeps this place nice and warm during the winter months. Got a little hangout spot here with a couch. So this is the little fenced off area I was talking about that we have for the dogs. So we have this gate here and then a doggy door so they can go outside during the day, hang out and sleep in here and have their food and water and stuff in here. Stackable washer and dryer right here out in the shop, little wash basin. In here we have like the water heater, furnace, the electrical panel for the house is also in there. So for lighting in the shop, we got 8 high bay lights. They're super bright, 17.5-foot ceilings. You see we got a 10-foot ceiling fan here. This is a retractable extension cord. It'll reach anywhere in the shop, so that's super nice. And then like I said earlier, 12 by 12 door, 18 by 8 door. Plenty of room in the shop. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go upstairs and check out the storage room and the master bedroom. That's super nice. And then like I said earlier, 12 by 12 door, 18 by 8 door, plenty of room in the shop. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go upstairs and check out the storage room and the master bedroom. Also, if you guys are interested, I have these floor plans available on my website. So you can go there, you can see a bunch more pictures and look at the floor plans and the cost breakdown, stuff like that. It's create208.com. All right, here we have a storage room. It is heated and cooled. You can see we just got like a bunch of winter storage and stuff like that in here right now. This could easily be like a little bedroom or something one day if we wanted it to be. I'm coming over here to the master bedroom. All right, here we are in the master bedroom. We're roughly 17 by 14 feet in here. 2 big windows. These are 8 feet wide, 5 feet tall. We got the TV on the ceiling. It has a remote so you can like drop it down and put it up and stuff so it's out of the way. This is a king size bed for size reference. It's a pretty big bedroom. You can see we have LVP flooring as a walkway through here going into the bathroom as well. So you can walk from outside all the way to the deck and everything on hardwood. Here you can see we got the gun safe built into the wall. This is the master closet. We have like the Wi-Fi router and Xbox and stuff like that up here. And then a bunch of shirt storage. You can see there's definitely some more stuff to be done in here. At some point I want like either doors on here or something like that in the bathroom maybe for the towel storage. And then a custom dresser to fit this exact space also. This closet's like 17 feet long and I think 4 or 5 feet wide. So there's tons of room in there. Then we're gonna move on into the master bathroom now. So this is one of my favorite parts about the entire house. So you can see we got the double vanity, matching granite of course. We got the walk-in shower right here that's open. We got rock flooring, you can see it matches right here. And then the full wall is tile. So here we have the freestanding tub in front of the window so you can have a view of the valley of course. And then we have the toilet there. Again, double vanities. You can see we got some granite. We matched all the countertops on the shelves and windowsills and stuff like that. Added a really nice touch in here. So we'll move on to the deck now. This is the switch for it. So this is a pretty big deck. Sticks out about 8 feet. So we got some lights up right now. Got a little seating area. You can see it wraps around this side. We have a picnic table over there, but it's pretty windy. That's about it for upstairs. We're gonna move on to the downstairs now. I'll show you guys the extra bedroom and the kitchen and front room.
Welcome to Reverb. If it's gear, it's here. Shop millions of musical instruments from local music shops.
All right, so here we are in the downstairs. Walking in, you can see the kitchen and the front room. So if you've seen my last videos, you'll notice that it's decorated a lot better now and it's really clean in here. That is thanks to my awesome wife. So we got a new couch. See, this is just like the little front room seating area with the same tongue and groove accent wall, same matching timbers as the deck. And then coming around, you can see the kitchen area. And this is a movable island, so it can move out of the way or move closer to the countertops if you need extra counter space. You can see all the Halloween decorations my wife has put out. It looks awesome in here. So we got the dishwasher, the range, microwave, all that stuff, stainless steel. And then coming over this way, you'll be able to see the pantry. And then here we have the guest bedroom, or it's really my office right now. Come into the downstairs bathroom. Same tile wall all the way up. Then another vanity in here. Pretty nice little bathroom. All right, so here we are down into the office, or it could be another bedroom. So I'd like to make this couch one of the hideaway beds, so if we have anyone stay the night, we can have a full bed for them. You can see my little computer area right here. And then we just have a pretty big sized closet in here. And that's pretty much it for the house. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. That's like about 1,300 square feet of living. And then the shop's just shy of 1,700 square feet. So it's perfect for me and my wife, and I think we'll be able to have 2 or 3 kids perfectly fine with this space. And then if we ever need to, we can always add on to the back side, or I mean, if we really wanted to, we could add a bedroom out in the shop. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want, you can go back through and check out some of my other videos of when we were building this place and when it was all under construction. We're getting closer to having it done. I mean, there's definitely some little things here and there, and like the tongue and groove wall that we want to change to brick or stone. So I think there'll always be projects around here. I will keep uploading videos as we do projects and like retaining walls and lean-tos and stuff like that. But thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. What's up, guys? It's Christian.